Hi, since we're learning in method, several notes in method 1B, I'd like to go over a good way to learn notes and because I teach an intervallic relationship. That simply means that I'm teaching, I want students to notice the relationship between the notes. If you look at the song Merrily We Roll Along, which you'll be encountering in 1B, take a look at the very last note and you'll see middle C. And I'll put my cursor on it. That's middle C. We learned that in the last section, and we know where it is on the keyboard. It's the C, which is to the left of the group of two black keys. The one that's in the middle of your keyboard. That's middle C. That's what we call a line note. There are line notes and space notes. If you think of it as a ladder, we have steps of the ladder, but we also use the space in between the steps also. So the C is a line note. We also have notes that are on spaces. They're between the lines. This is actually one of them. Look at the next to the last note of this piece. That's a D. That's the note right above C. So if that's middle C, that's D. So this is a space note. The next note up is a line note. So the notes go line, space, line, space, line, space, line, space. Whether they're inside the staff or whether they're hanging below it or whether they're above the staff. And yes, we'll get to all of those. Same thing with the bass clef. This song just happens to be all in the treble clef, which is the right hand. So this note would be middle C. We call this a step. When we're going from one note, from one letter name to the next letter name, that's a step. Now, what if we did a skip? We skipped that note and went to that note. That would be a skip. Those are always, this is a little tip, those are always either line to line or space to space. Let's take a look at one. The very first note here is on the first actual line of the staff. That is an E. That is this E. Now, let's take a look at this one and the next line down, which is an added line. There's our middle C. Line to line, it's a skip. Line to space, we're not skipping, it's a step. So that's a D. Space to line to space, let's go from here, the middle C, to the D. We're not skipping, we're stepping, right? So that's the next letter name up. And from here to here, this is a space to line. When it's space to line or line to space, those are steps, the very next note. Now, if it's line to line or space to space, it's a skip. Whether you're going up or down, that's a skip. Line to line, space to space on the staff is a skip. We'll run into skips a little bit later, but I wanted to just let you know sort of the philosophy behind learning notes this way. When you can learn notes this way, you don't have to keep going by our little tricks, like for spaces in the treble clef, F, A, C, E. Well, every note that you see on the staff, you have to keep thinking F, A, C, E, F, A, C, E, F, A, C, E, which one is it? And same thing on the bass clef. I also teach this a little trick for the spaces on the bass clef. All cows eat grass. A, C, E, G. But it's difficult to do every note. These pieces are sort of easy. There's not a lot of notes, but later on you're going to have both staves full of notes, and we have to look at notes in relationship to each other. Is this a line to line? Is this a line to space? Is this a space to space? That helps us get to know notes and get to know music quickly because it allows us to view and grab notes by the group, not individual notes by itself as we play. If you have any questions on this, please shoot me a message. Thanks.